we're here because I had the opportunity to meet Senator Stewart in Orlando, Florida, and at our national event for Visalis Health and Wellness Company, and it's led to where we are today because, you know, you were interested in the aspect of feeding those in need in southeastern Ohio. Would you talk briefly about the conditions in southeastern Ohio?
Right. Well, for a lot of people who aren't familiar, southeastern Ohio is very much Appalachian. They're largely Appalachian counties. Most of my district is similar to West Virginia, Western Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, and has historically had a lot of issues related to poverty, lack of infrastructure, undereducated population. One of the issues, of course, we're seeing really prevalent here in the last few years has involved the incidence of obesity, and that's been an enormous problem in our part of the state, as well as some other parts of Ohio. But it's a significant problem. But as we see oftentimes, the obesity epidemic with poverty, that the other side of it is we also have a lot of hungry people, a lot of underemployed and unemployed folks, and that's you know, where your company had come into the fray with the story recently on Dateline NBC, and the involvement that you guys did with the fundraiser, and you know, that helped feed quite a few people down in Appalachian, Ohio, and that certainly means a lot to the folks that run the food pantry, and even more to the folks that you helped to feed. And so on their behalf, certainly thank you.
Yeah, well, I figure if we did it once at that small of a level, we could do it in other counties and other cities and possibly the state.
Well, I think there's, you know, when I've used your product, and you know, I work out occasionally myself, believe it or not, and you know, I've found, you know, I've tried a lot of those types of, you know, protein shakes and supplements, and you know, you have a quality product, and certainly it tastes good, which certainly helps. And the main thing, you know, is not just for the consumer standpoint of those who are trying to get fit and lose weight, but also you know, a lot of people in your company like yourself who maybe just a couple years ago were down on their luck and having some problems, and rather than look to the government or a big corporation to be their salvation, people like yourself and many others in your company have just kind of self-started, and you know, with the right training, they had the desire and the motivation, and they moved forward and have done very well and been very successful on their end. So that's job creation. So I think you guys have the bases covered with, you know, the economic development side as well as the health and wellness side. And I think it's making a difference in a small way, and probably, I would hope, in a big way across the state and nation, you know, in the months to come.
Yeah, I always dreamt someone would say that of your stature. I mean, it's, I don't, from my point of view, over the last 2 years, I saw nothing else working. You know, and I think times are changing enough where people are relying more on each other rather than the corporations to get things done. So for you to say that is huge, because what else works and what else works is quick. So maintaining this relationship, I think, is huge, because because in the end, it can, sure, it can feed the homeless, feed the children, put money in people's pockets, but when you combine all of it, the bigger picture is it can change counties, it can change communities. So it's, to me, it's a no-brainer that as we come together and get bigger, it'll unfold as it should. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
You know, I'm really pleased to see what you guys have been able to accomplish with, you know, changing a lot of individuals' lives, helping them get healthy, you know, lose weight, you know, change their lifestyle, which is the big part of it. And you know, as well as feeling a lot better about themselves. But like I say, it's not just on the consumer side, it's also with what so many of the people who are, you know, trying to do the direct marketing of the product. I mean, a lot of people who've become very, very successful economically, who may have been under or unemployed just a few months ago or a couple years ago, who are now doing really well. And they didn't get it from, you know, a government handout or a corporate handout. I mean, these are people that pulled themselves up. They had a good product that they believed in, and you know, it's a win-win.
Wow.